Okay, it's about this double team.
Bullet. Go Red Raiders! Grease! Lightning! And what a diving effort! Go Red Raiders! 3-0 Texas Tech. Home opener. Texas Tech looking to strike first from 12 yards down.
Hand threatening shot.
We've been talking about this season and wanting it to be like record breaking, and we have this new team song called Anything Can Happen by Ellie Goulding, and that's been our jam, and I think the vibes of that have just been so high, so I'm excited for us to really get the ball rolling.
Let's go, Tyler. This is the official NCAA Tournament Soccer Preview episode. Of course, we have basketball and football previews as well, but right now, that video that you just watched is what we're talking about. I am hyped, Tyler. Are you hyped? I mean, it's just sometimes fun to see it all together. Like, man, there's been some special moments this year with this team.
Yeah, I'm so hyped. November soccer is my favorite kind of soccer. It all comes down to this month, and these girls are playing to extend their season and to keep playing with each other, and I just think it's just super exciting. Survive and advance. We are finally at that moment.
Survive and advance is true. There's nothing else after this. They know that. They had their selection show on Monday. They were given a 6 seed. They will play the, I guess, unseeded team in UTSA. Just a lot of fun storylines there that we're going to get into. A familiar face on that team coming back to town. All those things going on. A very good team that had to win their way into the tournament and even upset like the number 1 seed in their conference and the number 3 team, if you like the United Coaches poll, in the nation, Memphis, to get in. So there is a good team coming to Lubbock, but yeah, I mean, this is what this team talks about all year, Tyler, and they said that on Monday. I think Peyton said, we always talk about November soccer, and it's here, and now we're just excited to see how far we can go. And we talked to Faith, as y'all saw, and just in that video at the a clip of that's from an interview we did with Faith before the season, and you could feel the excitement in her voice. I remember when we talked to her and when I was editing that, just like grabbing that clip again, it reminded me like how confident, how excited they were about this season. And sure, as Tom said on Monday too, they faced some adversity this year. Every team does. Every year has it. Injuries, different things have come their way and they've had to overcome it. But they're here and like this is everything they talked about and they can go do the damn thing. And it starts on Friday night at 6 p.m. at John Walker. You don't need any promotions. Maybe they have some. Tyler can let you know. But it's the freaking NCAA tournament. So the promotion is you get to watch your own team play in the NCAA tournament and move on to the next round. Like what else do you need in life, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I mean, there is no promotions. It literally is, there's an NCAA soccer tournament happening in Lubbock. First round, y'all need to be there. Last time you'll get to watch this team at home, likely, like probably like 99% chance it's the last time you'll watch the team at home. And yeah, y'all need to, unless chaos happens. So y'all get out there and y'all go see them because... Yeah, bring your scarves. It might be a little chilly. It's going to be a fun night, but I mean, the road ends here. Y'all have been great all season, and now it's time to show out one last time.
Yeah, bring your chairs if you want to. Sit on the fence. I'm fully expecting for y'all to force me. I don't like to be on the field taking pictures. I don't, because I just know I'm going to get a broken nose because the ball's going to come whizzing by while I'm trying to update Twitter. But I'm fully hoping and expecting y'all to force me to be on the field because I won't have room on the fence line. That's what I'm hoping to see out there. So get out there. I know basketball's going on at the same time, but I said at the end of the last episode, and I mean it, guys. There is 9 million basketball games ahead of you. This is not some random mid-major that men's basketball is playing. It's a very good Texas Tech men's basketball team. I get it. They're fun to watch. Last chance to watch Texas Tech soccer in person in Lubbock for a chance to go to the next round. A lot of big seniors on this team. They're trying to do something special, as you saw in the thing with Faith at the beginning. She's one of them. come out there and help them do that against a very, very scrappy UTSA team. So they're 10-5-6 on the year. But like I kind of said, don't let their overall record fool you. I mean, that's not a bad record. But they're hot at the right time. They had to win their way in. They've won like 4 games in a row, either through PKs or just outright wins in regulation through their tournament. They were an unseeded team in their conference tournament, and they took down 3 or 4 seeded teams. I think the American seeds the top 4 teams, and they all get a bye until like the semifinals or whatever, and then or quarterfinals, and then everybody else has to play their way through. UTSA did. They took down the number 1 seed. They took down the number 2 seed, the 4 seed, and they got in. And they took down the number 1 seed in the semifinals in like chaotic, dramatic fashion, Tyler. I couldn't watch the full game because it doesn't exist, but I remember seeing the highlights afterwards, and I remember seeing Cam Kloza, who was on the team in 2023, posting on Instagram about winning the championship, and I even commented like, "Congrats, Cam, that's so cool, dancing." And then 2 days later, we're playing against her. I was like, "Oh, bet, cool." We'll get into her more in a minute, but they got there by beating Memphis, like I said, who, again, in the United Coaches Poll, the official NCAA poll coming into the weekend, were number 3 in the nation. They were undefeated, had a few ties, but undefeated. And they had a 3-1 lead over UTSA with under 5 minutes to go in regulation. And UTSA just got past the keeper on 1 goal, got it in, and then created some chaos on corners, which they are good at. They do have some people that can fly in the air, Cam being one of them, that can cause, they have some big bodies, cause a little chaos in front of goal. And they tied it up, and then you just knew. I mean, went to overtime. They almost won it in overtime. I think actually Cam Kloza had a header off the bar. And then it went to PKs, and it's like, listen, at that point, everybody knew they were winning because just destiny was on their side. So they got it done, and then they kind of won in a less dramatic fashion in the championship game to be here. So they've played some Big 12 teams. We will be the 3rd Big 12 team they played this year, so they'll be used to that physicality. A long time ago, in their non-con, they played Houston to open up the season, I think, maybe early on in the season. 0-0 draw. So we played teams like them before. And TCU, they only lost 1-0. And I remember watching that game because I remember being like, holy crap, like TCU's struggling with UTSA. It was at UTSA, and it was TCU's first road game of the year. But TCU had to get like a late second half goal, maybe from Cam Patton or someone pulled something out of a hat to score against UTSA late, or that would have been a draw as well. They're very comfortable dragging you into the mud, playing that kind of counter style that we've seen against people. Their captain on the team is Cam Kloza, like I said, former Red Raider. She's a defensive player. She's a center back on their team. She learned from one of the best center backs in school history, in Hannah Anderson, back when she was here, and then chose to transfer somewhere for her own reasons, maybe get more playing time, and it worked out for her. She's gotten to be a captain on this team. She's a leader on this team, and she's helped this program do some things that they haven't done in a while or ever. I don't know if this is their first time in the tournament. I don't follow UTSA soccer very closely, but I know that our program's very familiar with them. Tom Stone said the same thing on Monday, that both teams are very familiar with each other. Players are very familiar with each other overall, and as Tom said, he guarantees this is the hardest matchup that any 6 seed in the country got, and it's just a little bit of geography that we got sent UTSA because they kind of needed to send them to us. They were too good to send to the 2 seed, and TCU, I guess they could have sent them to Baylor, but we were the 6 seed, so we got them, and that just is how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely a scrappy UTSA squad. They're definitely going to try to be playing a very defensive game with us. And I mean, they have a lot of stars on their team. Zoe May is a middle fielder. She leads the team with goals with 6. Brooklyn Bailey is a forward who leads the team in shots with 43. Michelle Polo, who's a forward, who is second in the team in goals. Aaliyah Durden, who is also a defender, who is up there in their assist category. I mean, and then of course Cam Kloza with their defender, also up there with assists with 2 assists, and also had a few goals on the season. So they definitely have a team that has talent dispersed all throughout. Their goalkeeper's pretty good, only 18 goals allowed and 83 saves. I mean, they definitely are gonna they're definitely going to scrap, and they're going to try to pull off an upset win. I mean, they're going to be at it. So definitely effort and energy is going to have to be something that we're going to have to bring 100% of. There's no like, oh, it's just UTSA, like they're unranked. Like, no, UTSA very well has a case. I mean, they did beat, whether you agree with Memphis being the number 3 team in the country or not, Memphis was still a pretty good team, and Memphis tied with some pretty top dogs in the soccer
Tennessee.
world. Yeah,
that
literally
we could
like
play.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, UTSA is gonna bring it. Yeah, they have a bunch of star-studded lineup. They have a lot of people that really get a lot of shots on goal, like Brooklyn Bailey and Zoe May with 17. So it's definitely going to be a tough matchup, I think, but I think we'll be able to prevail, hopefully, especially with our offense.
Yeah, I mean, you know how we always say our best is better on this show? I really loved Macy. This is why we love Macy Blackburn. She's such a good leader, a captain. She didn't say those exact words, but she basically said that on Monday. Someone was asking her about if she knew much about UTSA, and she's like, not other than like some players on the team. She said, like, I'm gonna be honest, haven't really watched UTSA play soccer much, but I will be over the next few days. But she said, you know, as we say around here, like her exact words were something along the lines, if we just play to our capabilities, we can beat anybody. And so it's more about us than it is our opponent, which is our best is better. And I firmly believe that to be the case in any sport, and in soccer, where you have a 2-time All-American, probably about to be a 3-time All-American on your team. You have multiple All-Big 12 first-team players. You have some of the best players in the country. If they are healthy, I think that is the question mark for Texas Tech. We have kind of been limping to the finish line of the season, but they got 11 days off. And sometimes maybe things are meant to be. Maybe, you know, we just needed some time off, and that's when we lost our first round game to Baylor. Otherwise, this team doesn't quit. They would have slugged their way to the end of the Big 12 championship if they had the chance, but they would have been playing half hurt, you know, and now they got 11 days off. Fresh. Sounds like they've been going at it in practice. They're just raring to get out there and play anybody else. It's like a little bit, I mean, you think about it, this is about the same length as their preseason camp. Like, soccer gets like 11 days before they play their first game to start August, right? It's the same thing. It's like they got a new little training camp, and hopefully that's what's going to help them get into UTSA, and UTSA has been playing. So you can look at it two ways. Like, they're not going to be quote unquote rusty, but we have so many. I mean, these players have been playing soccer since they were like 5. I don't think it's possible to get rusty in 11 days. They're just going to be rested. They're going to be doing their thing. We like to score quick. I'm sure UTSA is going to be packing it in early, because they're going to be like, guys, just survive. Their whole game plan is going to be like, survive the first 10 minutes, and then we're going to go at them. I'm sure that's what they're going to say. But yeah, I'm excited to watch this team go to work on Friday. It's going to be fun. I think, did you already give all the Massey ratings and stuff? I can't remember.
Yeah, we can dive into that.
That's your thing, so I don't want to steal your thunder.
The computer model. We have to see what the computer has to say.
Yeah, of course.
So the computer is not favoring UTSA at all really too well in this. In a few things, UTSA is 118th and we're 18th, so we are literally 100 spots away from them. UTSA's offense is definitely not as strong as their defense, 168 rating, and their defense is at 82. Compared to us, we have a 23 offensive rating and a 14 defensive rating, and they're predicting the final score to be 1-0 and a 78% chance for us to take the win, which understandably so. We should win this game. We will win this game, but it's larger than the net. And honestly, I don't know if UTSA, if they didn't win their championship conference, they were not going to probably be in the tournament at all. Yeah.
Not probably. Their season was over if they didn't win. Because you're unseeded out of the American. They're not.
And you're 10-5-6. Yeah, no, there is no way.
No, they're not. They had a tough little middle part to their season, but they started okay and they finished strong, and they're in the tournament. And now all that's out the window. Like, nobody cares at this point. So yeah, it's gonna be a good matchup. And then we will hopefully be recapping them on Monday and previewing what could be a second round and a third round game. And how that works is, if Texas Tech wins, they will move on to the second round. If TCU, who is the 2 seed, which people are asking why we're a 6 seed when we're 16 in the RPI, I kind of think we were linked to TCU no matter what, is how I saw it. If TCU got a 1 seed, which they're upset they didn't get a 1 seed, I think we would have been a 5 and been in their region as a 4 or a 5. They got a 2 seed, so they put us as a 6. It's a travel partner thing. if we want to bus, we can bus to TCU. There's really nowhere else that is close enough for this to do that. That's how this stuff works. It's budget. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because either way, you're going to be playing the 3 seed, whether you're the 3 seed or the 6 seed in the second round if they win. But fun little 3 seed matchup is Tennessee versus an unseeded UNC. And we would play the winner of those two. And I've been telling Tyler for weeks, and he can attest to this, that I just had a feeling we were going to end up playing UNC as an unseeded, because I was like, God, UNC is going to be unseeded. And I was like, they're going to get sent to Lubbock or something crazy, or we're going to play them in the postseason. And then he gets sent to Lubbock. That would have been insane if we were the 6th seed and got UNC. Like, how? Okay, that'd be crazy. But we could play them in the second round, which, if you've been following this show for a while and this team for a while, would be kind of spicy because they are who knocked out the historic 2023 team at home in Lubbock from that team that was trying to go to their first Elite Eight in school history. They lost 1-0 to UNC, who went on to win the national championship that year, did they? Or no, they came up short that year. They won it last year.
They came up short, yeah.
They lost to BYU in that crazy game, the next game, where they were up big and then choked it away. But they're the reigning champions, NCAA national champions right now. They won it last year. They've won the most championships of anybody in soccer, and they've just had a weird year, and it's really historic for them not to be seeded, but they're still UNC. So they played Tennessee earlier in the year. This is a region of, they just wanted rematches, is what the NCAA wanted out of our region. Everybody's played each other because we've played TCU. Memphis and UTSA are in the same freaking conference. Tennessee and UNC already played earlier in the year. So everybody's going to get a chance at rematches, so if they want them. So fun little setup. And then if you win your second round game, you stay in Fort Worth. It's hosted by TCU for both of them, whether TCU wins their game or not. And you would play for a chance to go to the first Elite Eight in school history. It's not a bad draw location-wise. We'll talk about that more hopefully when they get there, but I can't think it kind of takes the fanfare out of it. And I guess if you're looking for an experience, but this team is not, they want to win, and they know this field, they know these opponents. I think there's some good to it, but you can't overlook UTSA, and I know they won't because that's not how this program rolls. So they'll be ready for UTSA on Friday. I hope it's not a war, but I think we'll go in expecting one and planning to win it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that when you're looking at, like, honestly, like, when you look at the bracket, like, I think things, even though people were like, well, why are we a 6th seed, blah, 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 but, like, honestly, I think that this was kind of the way that things should have fallen in a sense, because I think it helps us out better, and I think that there is potential. I know this team's ceiling, and I think that when you look at the opponents that we could be facing and how far we want to go into the tournament, this team, in order to do what they want to do, which has been special for, in November soccer, I think they can do that just looking at this. But they're obviously going to have to give their best, give 100%, not overlook UTSA. But I really do like our draw. Like, we did get one of the better draws. Like, we're probably the best 6th seed in the entire tournament, if I'm being quite honest, because we are underseeded, to be fair. But our draws, I think, helped in our favor.
Yeah, like I said, I think the draw, I don't know. Soccer is still, softball has that issue too, where I get it, it's a budget thing, it's a non-revenue sport, all those things. They try to keep it regional the best they can. And Texas Tech usually gets flown to like the East Coast because they can't bus you anywhere. But TCU is a 2 seed, so they could bus us there. So now we get to stay in state, and I think that's great. We'll have fans there. But yeah, there's no one in that region I don't think we can beat. Really good teams, and we can't go out there and just fiddle fart around. Like, we have to play our best soccer on both ends. Like, but like skill wise, no one on our team has to play above their head to beat any of these people. Like, if both teams go out there and play their best, I think we can beat any of them. Listen, if I had told you months ago or before the season, if there's a theoretical world, now you're gonna have to upset Tennessee, or hopefully not. You get a rematch against UNC to get to TCU. But if they get there, and I told you before the season, Tyler, in November, you're going to get a chance to go to the first Elite Eight in school history if you can beat TCU. And TCU's good, but we would have been like, well, we know we can play with TCU. So, like, it's not like you need to go beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame in the snow. Like, it's TCU in Fort Worth where Texas Tech fans are going to be there. But that's a next week thing. Because, again, like, I'm not... UTSA is a little Like, that's a tough matchup. So we got to get past them. But if they do, I think even Tom said something. You could hear it in the video. Like, there's some exciting stuff in that bracket, but you can't look past Friday. It's all about Friday, and that's where to go. So we'll talk more about that if we get to. That's a reward. But there's your little teaser in your bracket preview. We promised you that it was coming. So, yeah, any final thoughts on this besides get your butt out there, be there, and hopefully I'll be spending next week in Fort Worth for a few days. That's my plan. I'll be there if they get there. If the gals get there, I will be in Fort Worth.
That'll be so hype.
I actually don't dislike Fort Worth, so that's not the worst place to spend time. But could have been Austin, but Fort Worth I can do. But I'm hoping I'm there for like the whole weekend. Let's do it. But we got it. Gotta win this weekend.
Yeah,
no,
win this weekend.
I'm actually hoping Grambling pulls off the most historic upset in the history of soccer, and we're in Lubbock next weekend. But I'm not. I mean, listen, God loves us, but probably not that much.
Yeah, I mean, we get through UTSA, and either way, I think it's still it's still cool that this team will get to play the second and third round still in their state of Texas. I mean, that's pretty cool. In Dallas, Fort Worth, if we end up there, likely.
Right.
Yeah, it just feels right.
And
it's
so much
basically
to talk about with that.
Texas Tech 2.0. Yeah. We just need to win so that happens.
Stopping grounds. She's from there. One of the goats
works.
of the program.
It just works.
To get us to the first Elite Eight in her basically her home metroplex. I mean, all the things happening, but that's next
history.
Can't look past.
Can't look past it. Can't look past it. And they need your help. That's why y'all have to be there. I know that men's basketball starts at 7, but you can definitely catch the soccer game and then head over there if you are so inclined to go.
Second half.
Yeah.
If you
I know
want to
y'all
go to
all be in town for football because football just announced UCF is sold out. So I know y'all are in town. So y'all better get your bets to John Walker. Otherwise, I'm going to be very disappointed in y'all. So y'all better be there.
I will actually be mad at y'all.
Mm-hmm. We'll be mad.
Actually, I will judge.
Hands will be thrown. No. Maybe.
I will actually be judging you. Some people don't care about that, but you're going on a list, as I've said before, if you're not at the soccer game, and you should be. Only people exempt are the basketball players, staff that are working the game, and, of course, coaches. Anybody that's required by paycheck to be at the USA. I'm sorry for y'all that you have to miss a soccer game. Everybody else, you don't have an excuse. Well, I mean, within reason. You get what I'm saying. Life, whatever. If you're leaving your house on Friday and it's not to go to the soccer game, I'm writing you down.
All right, I'm down.
All right, we'll talk more about soccer on Friday because we're going to get to. If we when we win on Friday, I'm going to try to find Tyler. We're going to do like a live little quick social media type post before I have to go in the press conference. We'll do it for you guys. Basketball, women's basketball, nothing to recap yet because we did that on the past episode. If you'd like to watch their recaps of their previous 2 games, hop back one episode. We have highlights from their wins. Women's basketball is 3-0 heading into their game on Thursday night, which is the day you're watching this if you're watching when this video dropped. So they're playing SMU. It's the first game of 3 power conference opponents in a row. They've played well to start the year. They're looking about what you want them to look like, but this is a step up. Power conference athletes. Tests everywhere, gonna have to be good on-ball defenders. They're gonna try to take you off the dribble. We're gonna talk about all that. But first, be there. It's a 6 p.m. game. The team's really pushing for folks to come out and support them. They've had okay attendance. I know there's a lot of sports going on. ACC opponent in town on Thursday. We'll skip ahead real quick to Sunday. We will preview a little bit of Arkansas, but we won't see you before then. They play. What time do they play on Sunday? Is it like a 2 or a 3?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock on Sunday, and that is the fun one that I hope there's going to be a lot of people at. People in town for the football game, you would want to stay for this one because they're inducting the 1993 National Championship team into the Ring of Honor. So they're all going to be, a lot of them are going to be in town. I think they're going to have a media availability before the game, so I'll hopefully get to go to that and get to talk to some of them and get some content for you guys. But I'm sure the team will post the full thing on YouTube or something, but that'll be on Sunday. So you can catch them twice against 2 power conference opponents, and then they'll have another one next week that I hopefully won't be able to be at because I'll be at soccer when they host Mississippi State. So this is the start of that train. SMU, Tyler, what do you have on SMU? How are we going to beat the SMU Mustangs?
Yeah, SMU, they are about the same. I was looking at their size. That's the thing that really stood out to me. We do have players that are taller than they're the tallest player 6'2". We have several 6'3" players, 6'4" players. I know. No, we might actually have an advantage there possibly. But their biggest thing is they do have guards though that are pretty tall in size, and they like to hoop. Number 2,
Hoopers,
Zara
for
King. Sure. Hooper. I mean, they have right now have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 players that are averaging in double figures this year. I mean, they are just a really they like to move the ball a lot on offense. They're coached by the former Arizona women's basketball coach, the coach that took them to Arizona to the national championship in 2021. They canned her. She took the job at SMU.
Unfortunately, facts. Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, facts.
They didn't can her. She left.
Oh yeah, she left. She left before they canned her. Yeah. That's the truth. But
they were both ready to leave each other, I guess. But anyway, we'll move on.
It was a messy relationship there. But they know
toxic.
But they have I think they have all 15 players on this team are all new. Nobody stayed from the former SMU team. She has a few people that returned from Arizona. But some of their leaders, Sonia Jha, she is a forward, has 12.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. But she does have about 4 turnovers per game. And I believe she also came off the bench in their last game against Kansas State. So she's leading the team in scoring, and she's not even a starter as of right now.
She was suspended for the first half of their first game of the year and then came off the bench.
I don't know. Story there. Okay.
I don't know what that's about, but she's also a national champion because she won a national championship when she was at South Carolina before transferring.
Whoa, she's from South Carolina. Wow.
She transferred from South Carolina to Arizona and then followed Adia. So I don't think she played a ton on that team, but I think she's one of those that still figuring out the maturity side of the life. Yeah. But when you watch them play, she's the most athletic person on the team. She's the one that's like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
She's built kind of like Snudda, actually. You could see them guarding each other a little bit, have similar builds and similar play styles, but she's a problem when she wants to be.
I definitely can see that. Yeah. For sure. And then they have their guard. They're very guard heavy, as I said. Kyla Deck, 12 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, 38.5% from the 3-point line.
5 steals is absurd. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They were all over it. But when you look at their scores though, they've been playing opponents really close. They should have beaten K-State. They lost on a buzzer beater. One of their players made a 3 or was supposed to make a 3, bounced off, and then K-State made a last-minute layup. It was a very low-scoring game, but if you take that out of the equation, I mean, this team, they'll go out and score. I mean, they're a good basketball team, coached by a good person. Zara King, as I mentioned, they're number 2 on their team, the guard. Again, 12 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, shooting 50% from the 3-point line. And when I pull up these 3-point line stats, they actually shot at least 15 3-pointers. So she is over here making her 3-point shot. She's a good shooter. Their 6'2" forward, Grace Hall, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists on the team. Great as well. And then Anaya Brown comes in as 6'1" forward. She actually did start for them, only averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds. Sounds like they kind of split the time, that 4 and 5 spot. And then Jizaniah Harriel is another guard. 8.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then she's shooting about 30% from the 3-point line. Again, all of them just kind of run a 4. They run that classic 4 out. Try to get the ball to each other. They love to drive in the lane, score in the paint. If they want to take outside shots, they will. But I mean, they're just a physical basketball team, and I think we're gonna see that. And I want to see how we respond, I guess, to that type of offense.
Yeah. In the past, we haven't handled that always the best, but I try not to talk about the past with this team because I feel like this team doesn't talk about the past, and I like that about them. It's a new team for us as well. Not 15 new players. But a lot of new people, a lot of new ideas with the new staff, assistant staff and all that. So hopefully that helps us out. But yeah, I watched that Kansas State game, not live. I went back and watched it before we did this show. And I would say ignore the score. It was just one of those games where, I told Tyler, it was if you had told me it was an 11 a.m. game, I would have believed you. Everyone looked like they were a little bit just, off when they were shooting. One of the girls, I think King was playing sick, is what their coach said in the press conference as well. So that might have been some of it as well, but they were getting good looks. Both teams. Kansas State was too, and just bricking them. in the lane runners, like things that both teams had scored 100 points in their previous games or close to 100 points coming in to this game. And so like in the pregame, the announcer's like, yeah, this is going to be an offensive showcase. And then it was neither team broke 50 because that's how basketball goes. But I'm interested to see how we guard them because they will run a 4-out sometimes. Sometimes they run a 5-out. I'm not even going to lie. They're running a 5-out against K-State. And, you know, Arizona State did that to us sometimes last year, and they had someone by the name of Ty Skinner that kind of ate us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in that game. She is on this SMU team, but she has not played yet this season. So they also almost beat Kansas State without one of their best players. She will be their starting point guard by the time, if she's healthy. You know, something. Came over from Arizona. She's playing point for them right now. Not bad at all, but I think their coach says she's kind of like Bailey, where she wants her to be off ball more as well. But right now she's playing point for them because Skinner's out. Just because of how Texas Tech basketball goes, I'm just fully expecting to see Ty Skinner in warm-ups when I show up to the stadium. Yeah. I want to play the best anyway. I really want to test this. I want to find out who we are. It's better to find out now, so kind of hope she plays. And she'll be hard to guard as well. I'm interested to see how we guard them because Kansas State just packed the lane, Tyler. And they said, cool, you want to drive? No. You're going to shoot threes. And they're typically good shooters, but on this day they weren't, and so that really worked for Kansas State. If they had been hitting threes against Kansas State, and Kansas State was forced to come out and guard them a little bit more, I think SMU might have won pretty handily. They were up like 7 or 8 at halftime. They were up like at the beginning of every quarter, and then just kind of choked it away at the end. I think the experience of Kansas State won out in the end. Hopefully our experience, as far as being old, will help. I don't think SMU's all that young, though. It's just they don't have a lot of experience together. But yeah, they're just really athletic. They want to spread you out, drive to the lane, kick to shooters, or get to the free throw line is what they did against Grambling, their first opponent of the year. I think they shot like 35 free throws or something absurd in their first game. Didn't really shoot much against K-State. So we're going to have to be disciplined, stay in front of them. I think we can really beat them in transition. I would assume after the way the Kansas State, again, the score, ignore it. But K-State was really beating them in transition quite a bit, and that's where they got a lot of their points, or they missed some easy bunnies in transition. I think they're going to be focused on trying to be better at transition defense, but hopefully they don't have that quite figured out yet, and we can beat them in transition. Him and Nunez going to sauce some people up, getting the ball up, and really pushing the pace in this. And we talked about rebounding not being a strength of ours. That's been kind of a weakness for SMU as well. So both teams have that circled as this is the game that we should be able to be better at because the other team's not great in that category. Okay, one of them is not. Someone's still not going to win that battle. I hope it's us that finds a way. But both teams probably are coming in this game wanting to be better rebounders. Again, theirs is a size issue. We will, for once, have a size advantage, but I don't know that we'll have an athletic advantage at every position. I think there'll be some where they can have advantages there. And we're just going to have to play well. So you're going to have to bring it. I like Deck. I like King. I really like Ty Skinner if she plays smaller, but she's quick. And Jaw is, if she's focused, she's really good. But we have some people that maybe could at least... Having Snuddle on the team makes me feel a little bit better about an athlete of caliber that maybe she could stick with her. Obviously Danae, but we kind of need Danae free to get after Deck and some other people. They will press. Gerlich talked about that. They'll full court press you. They did that against K-State. K-State took care of it for the most part, but they will get after us first team that we face this year that'll full court press. NCAA kind of ran that like half court trap at us. Or right before half court, they would trap us some. So we got a little look at that, but SMU will do it make or miss right full court. So it'll be a good chance for Hema and Sydney to show what they can do. Wouldn't be shocked if we see a lot of Hema and Sydney out there together if getting the ball up becomes a problem. So yeah, that's kind of the gist. They're going to 5-out you. It's going to be about on-ball defense in this game. On-ball defense, transition, and rebounding are the key phases that I think win the game for either team.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously
with that.
Shooting, but that's like dumb.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I agree with that. And even in the games where we were getting pressured just a little bit by the smaller opponents, I felt like that our press break was looking pretty good. Like there was one really good
Yeah.
press break we had where Hema was able to get it. Actually, it was like to Jada Malone in that corner spot, and then Malone was able to pass it over, I think, to Sydney, and then Sydney ran in for a layup. So at least on that aspect, granted, this will probably happen the whole game. So just seeing how we can endure that, knowing that we do have not that much depth necessarily like on our bench. Like we're not going to have a full fresh five set of legs that'll be able to come out, in this game and help replace that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested to see how we handle that pressure defense. And then overall, SMU is going to be a great opponent. They are the only team in this non-conference slate, according to Charlie Cream, take his word for what it's worth, that is projected to go to the NCAA tournament. So this is definitely a really, really good test, and I'm super excited to see what the pieces come together with this team.
I really, this is where the fan side of me comes out, and I just want them to win, like for their sake. Like they've invested so much in this. I really want them to win. It's not the end of the season if they don't. I've already said that in the preview. Like I'm not expecting this team to go undefeated in non-conference, and I think in some ways maybe it would be great for them to learn, but I'd prefer it not to be the first one. Like I want them to keep that confidence going. They just seem like a really confident group. Like we talked to Jalen Bristow today in the media availability. We need to get Jalen on the show and we'll get to know her better. But she was so ball is life focused right now. Like the girl was like the one word answers, and someone asked what they were working on. They're basically like, y'all started the season 3-0. That's right where you want to be. But like, what things are you working on right now before the next game? And this is not paraphrasing. She was just like getting to 4-0. Period.
Love that, Jalen.
And everyone just like, oh, that's it? Okay, next question. Like, period. And I was like, that's right. That's right. It's another one of those where I wish I could clap in the middle of that. I could not, just give a nod. But yeah, so she's very focused. You can see it. The confidence there as they should. But they're going to face adversity in this game. I think they're ready for that. And they want to prove it to everybody that they can do that. And I think Germany is going to come up big right now. I'd feel less confident if they didn't go through that a little bit together. Not everybody, but a little bit together. And I'm excited to see who steps up in the big moments. Everybody's playing pretty well right now. And who's going to be the hero? I don't know. Whole team, whole squad. I think that's the cool thing about this year's team is you can't focus on one player. There's too many people that'll bite you. So yeah, I don't know who they're going to have guard Jalen. My guess would be Jaw. And she is going to bring the physicality, so it will be a good chance for Jalen to show that she can handle that. I don't know if anyone's been able to match her athletically and physically yet. She does have some height on her, but it'll be fun. So that's SMU. Again, they'll play Arkansas on Sunday. Have not had a chance to watch Arkansas yet. I wanted to, but fortunately this is not a full-time gig, so I do have a life that I have to attend to. And I didn't get a chance to watch them, but they're 3-0. They will be playing on Thursday night as well, so we won't know how they do in that. But they haven't really blown everybody out. They just barely beat Central Arkansas the other day in overtime, but they haven't lost. They have 5 different players averaging double figures. Offense has not been their problem. They just had trouble stopping some people. Their 2 leading scorers are both true freshmen. Their leading scorer with 18 points a game is a freshman from Australia. So that's cool. She was the SEC Freshman of the Week in their first week of the season. She was dropping crazy numbers. So they have a new coach. It's funny. We played both these teams last year, but they're rematches by uniform only. It's completely different teams, different players, different coaches, schemes. I mean, SMU you have some familiarity with just because the coach you played against her at Arizona, and like we talked about, you don't really have any familiarity with Arkansas. So that'll be interesting to see how we handle that. But I think you should be able to beat them defensively, but you're going to have to prove that you can stop them offensively. They'll get them up, they'll shoot, they'll run. Their coach is very well respected by a lot of folks. I think she was at Oral Roberts before and had them and had a lot of success there. And it's going to probably take time to rebuild Arkansas because the truth is they don't invest a lot of money into that program. But she's the kind of coach that can slow build like the old school way. She's just going to need time to do that. And she has some good freshmen two of them. Bonnie Deese, 18 points per game, and Harmony Ware, 13.7 points per game, are both freshmen. Shooting 50% from three and basically 40% from three for those two. And they also don't turn it over a lot. As a team, only 12 turnovers a game. So that'll be interesting to see if we can get after them and force them to turn it over a little bit more than they're used to. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of insight on them because I haven't watched them. So I'm just going off of box scores.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to watch them either. Like you said, I do respect their coach a lot. She says the right things, and I think they are in a rebuild. Metrics are showing that this should be more comfortable of a win for us than SMU, but obviously, you never know
It's not
how
a lot of data earlier in the year, so yeah.
Not much data, but yeah, as you said, Bonnie Deese is their main player, and Harmony Ware, both of those guards, averaging double figures. Then they also have some forwards. Granted, they've played some easier opponents, so they could kind of stop pat it. But Jenna Lawrence is a forward with 13 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 50% 3-point shooter. Talia Jones is another forward, 13 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Emily Robinson, 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 60% 3-point shooter. And then they have another freshman, Maria Anais Rodriguez, 6'1" forward, 8 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and also a 40% 3-point shooter. They think, I saw some stat the other day that Arkansas did really well with their 3-point shooting at the end of that UCA game. Like they were down by maybe 6 or 9, then they made like 3 of them in a row. Yeah, came up very clutch at the end. So that's another thing, similar to how Texas Tech soccer is playing UTSA. Like, it doesn't matter what time is on the clock or your lead. Like, this Arkansas team is scrappy, and they will. You give them time and you give them the wide open looks, they'll go back and they'll get it. They have a center that averages 10 rebounds per game and 7 points per game. So again, they have pieces. The pieces haven't necessarily melted together and have formed one big cohesive unit yet, but they are probably hungry because we are going to be their first real opponent that they've played this season other than LA Tech. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. You would hope though that with the 93 championship team being honored, we're not going to necessarily be playing our worst basketball ever. I think this is a very winnable game. Again, we're 17-point favorites, 86% chance to win by ESPN, but I don't know. It's just interesting to kind of see this Arkansas team. It's a new look compared to last year's one girl.
It's hard to really know much without having a chance to watch them. But I'm looking forward to the game. I think Gerlich said they were asking her about the 93 game and how excited she was to see her teammates and all that. And she's like, yeah, of course, really excited to have everybody in town and for everybody to be honored. But she said, most of all, I'm excited for them to see this team put on a show. Essentially, I might be paraphrasing a little bit, but that's what I'm hoping to see as well, to get a win and start strong to start the year. SMU and Arkansas, again, SMU is probably the more likely one to make the tournament this year, but never say never. In Arkansas, they're undefeated. I think it's just you don't know. So even the computer metrics, I think those are using a lot of last year's data at this point, and it's a completely different team. So it's hard to really buy too much into that until we get more info, but they can definitely shoot threes.
They can.
We have one of the better 3-point defenses so far to start the season, and that's been something that's been a trend the last couple of years. We've been good at that. But can we do that and not get beat off the dribble? I think Sarah's going to need to be big in both games. I don't know about Arkansas's height, but I need Sarah to have a big time game tomorrow night or tonight when you're watching this Thursday, because I do think at times, just because they're good, even if we play good defense, SMU is going to beat us off the dribble, and you really need Sarah to clean up in the lane and kind of protect the rim a little bit, and perhaps she'll need to do the same against Arkansas if we're having to really run them off the line, because we kind of saw that against Texas State, and we talked about that. That was part of their game plan, was to run them off the line. But the other side of that coin was Texas State was just getting to the lane at will. So how can we run them off the line without that happening? I don't know if we'll throw some zone out there or what, but zone is tricky against shooting teams. So catch-22. But we'll see. That's why they get paid the big bucks. I'm excited to see first chance for the coaches and the players to show out. I hope neither of these games are close, but also I wouldn't mind a little bit of a have to learn some things in a tight game or something. You know what I mean? Actually, I don't. Let's just blow them out.
Yeah.
We can learn the Big 12. What am I saying?
It looks like height-wise, their center, Ashlyn Charleston, is 6'3", and then their forward, Jenna Lawrence, is also 6'3". So that is something to keep in mind.
To us, it sounds like. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's kind of become the norm. If you can't find an athletic 6'6" player, a lot of teams have just gone away from it completely and are going with more athletic 6'3" players, which is kind of the road that we're taking as well. So, yeah, excited to watch them do their thing. Go to both games if you can get there. Men's basketball, they lost to Illinois 81-77 last night as we were recording this. So that was Tuesday night. Up in Champaign?
Champaign.
Is that where they're at? Champaign, Illinois. Honestly, I think it kind of went better than I thought it was going to go. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people are upset, but that's just our fans being dramatic. But they were missing a lot of people, too. I think they were missing their best player, according to their fans. And I'm like, who the hell were you missing? Because these players are ridiculous. We basically played the European all-star team. I'm like, where did they just go over to Europe and take, like, the best Euro star players and, like, hey, come over to America? I just feel like we were just playing a European team. And I'm like, what was going on? They were all good. Baby Stork, as I called him, Stojakovic. His son is out there just completely opposite of his dad, just driving to the hoop all the time. He's a slasher, not a shooter. What's going on? Hurting my brain. Their big was like 7'2" and shooting threes and blocking shots and all these things. But they were missing people. We were obviously missing Luke Bamborier, or however you say his name. There was murmurs that he was going to play, and he did warm up that day, travel with the team. So I think he's closer, but probably smart to not rush it. He would have helped a lot in this game as a 7-footer. We missed that size, because then you have to play JT at the 5. He's not a natural 5, but he did his best. JT had himself a game. He looked like the National Player of the Year. 35 points, 11 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. He made like 7 straight shots or something, maybe more than that, to start the second half. Like, couldn't stop him. Unstoppable behavior out there. If he could just gotten a little bit more help. Lawan Watts had a good game, especially in the second half. He was a little shaky to start the game and then settled in, which was great to see. Christian was getting guarded by, I don't know if I'm the only person that calls him this, but Baby Stork. So I always called his dad was Stork, so I call him Baby Stork. Stojakovic, what is his first name? Andre? Anyway, he's really good. Transferred from Cal. Dad is a former NBA player. He was getting beat up by, Anderson was kind of getting beat up by him on both ends. But Anderson was also kind of having to play out of position on him because you're missing some people that would have normally guarded him, and it was just one of these things. But I think it was a good learning tape experience for C4 is still a sophomore. I think people forget that, as good as he is. So I think he learned some things in this game, and that'll be really useful down the line. We were really sloppy to start the game. I think Grant said it best. Of course he did. He said, we were trying to play good basketball instead of just playing basketball. And when you're just so focused on playing perfect, you make these stupid ass mistakes. We had like 5 travels. They don't call walking in men's basketball. Like, that's not even a thing. And we got it called 5 times. You know how egregious traveling you have to do in men's basketball to get it called? And it was just because we were so focused on trying to be perfect that we were just like shuffling our feet instead of putting the ball on the floor and dribbling. And it was just like uncharacteristic stuff in that first half that got us down by like 13 at halftime. And we had to dig ourselves out of a hole. They did that, but then we couldn't get a stop to save our life. Defense is still a struggle bus, but I'm hoping Luke fixes that.
Yeah, when you look at the box score, you're like, well, we were kind of like even in pretty much every category other than the free throw discrepancy, which was like insanely. Like, they went to the line 23 times. We only made it to the line, for reference, I think, like 8 times. Yeah, 4 times. 4 times.
4 times. Yeah, I think a little bit of home cooking was happening there, but
it was. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, yeah, the game, it is what it is. Obviously, when you're looking forward, you can't just have JT and Lawan be the only scorers that contribute to the 75% of your points. You're always going to want Christian to be more on his A game. He was getting guarded really heavily. Everyone was kind of playing out of position, it seemed like. We literally could not stop Stojakovic, whatever his name is, and he literally came off the bench, wasn't even their starter in this game. But, I mean, yeah, this is what it is, silly turnovers. You actually had several chances, I think, in that last 2 minutes to win the game. Made a silly, silly turnover when you could have potentially made a 3 or even got it down to 1. And then Christian obviously should have pump faked that at the end instead of getting stuffed by that guy. So I mean, again, it's all things that you work on. Yeah, it's all stuff you work on for later in the year so that this doesn't happen in March. But overall, I think it was a good test, and I'm not disappointed. Like, there's one point in the game we were down by like 10, and you're thinking this is going to be one of those, like, when we played Gonzaga 2 years ago where we got blown out by 20 away, and it was like a complete shit show. But we actually prevailed, and we came back. JT went on fire, and I mean, we only lost by 5 points. So I'll take that any day over a really, really bad loss. I think we learned a lot from this.
Yeah, we didn't shoot it very well. And I think we started the second half 11 for 11 from the field, and 10 of those were in the paint. And then, like, we missed our 12th shot, which was a 3-pointer. So, like, we were doing, like, a pick and roll game with C4 and JT that was just working every time. And then we kind of got away from that. Now, they did adjust, and they were starting to throw 2 people at JT, but I don't know why we necessarily went away from it. We were trying to then, like, let Lawan ISO people, which I get. They really need, and maybe that's just one of those things where he's not quite there yet, but they need him to be. So it's November, and Grant was like, hey, this is a great chance for him to try to be that guy because we need him to be. But I think, like, maybe you had a better chance in that moment of winning, perhaps if you just stayed with those 2. Because if they're throwing 2 people at JT at the 3-point line on a pick and roll, well, then freaking Lawan Watts better be wide the hell open on the backside, so he'll get the ball eventually. But I'm not going to question Grant. I don't know if that was his choice or if the players were doing that. That's my only thing. It's like, I feel like Grant wouldn't have wanted them to start playing so stagnant all of a sudden after they were doing such a good job of playing, like, team basketball for a little bit, at least 2-man game, and then it turned into this ISO ball, and we didn't score for like 4 possessions, and we couldn't stop anybody, so that meant we were down by 6 to 8 points, and we had to crawl our way back in again. So just stuff like that, but it's November. I'm not pressed about it. Illinois is really good, though. I mean, they're missing 4 players again, and one of them's their best player, so, and they still handled us pretty good. I mean, they're giants out there, like, just massive everywhere. They're going to be fun. We might face them again in March.
Yeah, I think they're like number 3 in Torvik rating. So, I mean, they're definitely getting favored by the computers. Sure, yeah. KenPom, all the things. So that could be a 1 seed you just played, really.
For sure. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll both be different than we are right now. In March, we'll both be better. And that's scary for both teams, I guess, that if you looked how... I don't even think we played that well, and we were still in the game at the end. I think that's what I took away. A lot of bad tape, but when you still almost win, they'll learn from it. So we'll see. This team has a long ways to go. Like, the talent's there, but God, they just don't know each other. Like, there's just so many new pieces. It's hard for me to bank on it. And they need to get healthy, but you can't deny that the ceiling of this team is outrageous. So we'll see if it comes together. They play on Friday at 7 against Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A solid mid-major, but again, please go to soccer first. They play at 6. Get an NCAA tournament dub. Then go catch the second half of basketball if you so wish to see them murder Milwaukee. Sorry, Milwaukee, but anyway, we'll get to do that and catch both games. And yeah, any other thoughts? We'll recap that game on Monday.
Yeah. Go to soccer first, then you can go catch basketball. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, like, it's very simple for me. I mean, do what you want to do. It's your money, but it seems like an easy choice to me. But anyway, football. Nothing competing with football on Saturday that I know of, I don't believe. So you got 2:30 senior day, last regular season game. I mean, I hope it's the last game because that means we get a bye or something. We work our way into a bye and then we don't have a home game in the playoffs. But right now, we're the 6th overall seed in the college football playoff, which means we would get a home playoff game. If y'all thought the college game day week was insane, Lubbock, hide the scooters, hide everybody. It's going to burn to the ground, especially if we get like a little team named UT sent our way, which is hovering in the 11 range. They're number 10 right now. If they fell to 11, they'd get sent. Oh my gosh. You know the committee wants to send UT here, but that's a down the line conversation. That would be outrageous. First, we got to beat UCF. They have some really good edge rushers. Our offensive line has been good at times and then questionable at times. I think that's my biggest concern is like, hey, we got to be on it because our quarterback is in a boot all week. They're not taking the boot off Baron Morton until Friday. So we'll see if he plays. He's probable right now on the injury report, so that seems to lean that he's playing. But you don't want him getting murdered. They're not our edge rushers because nobody is David Bailey and Romello Height, but they do have some good edge rushers on this team. That's not their issue. It's elsewhere on their team that they've struggled to win games, but they've caused some people some problems in that area, and we need to protect our quarterback for a lot of reasons. And this, hopefully our defense will just handle business and it'll be like a blowout if I could dream, but that seems unlikely. Just they've been playing people close. But if we could blow them out and get like Baron out of there, that'd be lovely. But what do you have on them? We can't win without Tyler's scouting report. So.
Well, when you're talking about getting information from scouting reports, I will say that these UCF fans right now, if you think you're at rock bottom in your life, go ask them, because the energy around this UCF football program, it's bad. It's bad. It's very
They're
bad.
Like, yeah, y'all are gonna like literally end our program, and I'm like, oh, this is not even this hate week is not even fun. I feel like I need to send you some rainbows or something.
Yeah, something, because I mean it's pretty rough. Apparently, so they've lost to Kansas State 20-34. They lost to Kansas 20-27, and then I guess the game where they like put all their might in it because they were really trying to get to a bowl game. It was against Houston. They lost 30-27. That was last Friday night, and apparently that took out half their team injury wise. Team obviously is in a rebuilding mode. UCF fired Gus Malzahn. They brought back Scott Frost, the one that won their controversial 2017 national title.
Hang the banner! No, like they literally did. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, they literally did hang the banner. So he's back trying to do a rebuild. The biggest question for them is they have quite a lengthy injury report that came out. Taven Jackson is not on the injury report. However, he did not play in the last couple drives of their last game against Houston. He's battling a shoulder injury from earlier in the year, and he apparently got a hamstring injury at the end of that. And their backup quarterback is already completely out. So then they would have to go to their third string that they saw 2 drives from.
Sounds familiar?
Yeah, literally sounds familiar. But I will say though, the quarterback is not at their third string quarterback is nowhere near the caliber of what our situation is. Yeah, of Mitch. So again, it's all kind of, you have to look at it from a bigger perspective. But in the event that they do have this quarterback that plays, Taven Jackson, he has about 1,470 yards, 136 completions, 5 touchdowns on the season. Rushing wise, they have a really big rushing game. Miles Montgomery, he is listed, I think, on the questionable list. So he may or may not play. Again, battling injuries, 595 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jaden Nixon has 485 yards and 7 touchdowns. And then Cam Fancher, he's out. He's their backup quarterback. He's not going to be playing. Ja'Cory Brown, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing-wise. Head over to their receiving. Dwayne Thomas Jr. has a 402 yards, no touchdowns on the season. Again, they've really had to lean into their rushing game. They don't really have their quarterback's, shoulder injury. So throwing shoulder, I think, too. So it's kind of been a bad situation for them. Dylan Wade has 302 yards. 1 touchdown. Not ideal. DJ Black, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Chris Domercant, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. I really do think that we handled the Knights. I don't think I'm not too concerned about this game. Obviously, though, being a Tech fan, it's just something about we always do something really well. And then, you play these like lower tier teams and something could happen. But I'm trying to remain positive because this is not past Tech teams. This is like a new era of Texas Tech football. But I really do think we can handle the Knights. I'm not super concerned about this game, but I agree with you. Baron has to be protected. I thought in the BYU game there was too many times where I damn near lost my mind because Baron was like just getting sack after sack, and I was just like, guys, like we have to like protect him way better. And that's on him too in some instances to throw the ball away there, but it's also like we got to protect him better because he was just sliding all back and forth. Like it was not good.
Yes. I thought he did a better job in the second half of like just managing the game. I think he's a gunslinger by nature, but he's on literally a broken leg. So it's like just you can't get outside the pocket, and I think he did better at that in the second half against BYU, and that's kind of what I expect to see here is he'll just move up in the pocket, take a sack, gingerly just fall down to the ground, take sack, instead of trying to run out for he just can't. He doesn't have the quickness right now to get around the corner. You're just going to end up with a 20-yard loss. So throw it away or take a sack and move on to the next play. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to keep him out of the game, but if they really, part of me wouldn't be shocked to see Mitch in this game, but he's only on the probable list, which, I mean, that typically means he's playing. So I don't think they want to chance like not taking UCF seriously and trying to kind of get too cute with the football gods and chancing losing this game. So I think Joey said it's my job to make sure there isn't a letdown this week. And so I think that's probably part of it. But obviously they're not putting Barron out there in he's risking any sort of long-term injury thing. It's just like he's really beat up. So we'll see how he does. It would be lovely if we could blow them out and get poor Barron some rest before West Virginia on the road. And then I think you get like a week off maybe before the playoff. I don't know the timeline on that. But it's all happening. All the sports. But I'll be there. I will be at soccer on Thursday. Friday. I'll be at basketball on Thursday night, soccer on Friday night, football on Saturday, and women's basketball on Sunday. If anyone would like to be an intern. I'm kidding. I don't have that power to hire that. Well, I mean, watch me. I already hired Erica. She's officially on team Sing Scarlet.
Yeah, shout out to Erica.
She was actually helping me a lot. If I could get her out there to take pictures for soccer, I would have, but it's just too late in the year to get credentials for someone. But she is helping so much at basketball because now I can actually just watch the games and do that part of the job instead of one woman banding it. But anyway, football, I don't have to do that. There's like 9 million people. I'm just up in the press box like a normal human being, but still have to be there. I'm not complaining, y'all. It's lovely. Sports are great, but Tyler understands. It gets tiring. I don't want anybody's season to end, to be clear. I would love for soccer to be playing until December. Absolutely love it. But I will be in a coma.
Yeah, I mean, this last week and then this week, I think is gonna take me out. But we're making it. I think everyone's making it.
But in like a month and a half when it's over, man, you're gonna miss it. That's how softball was. God, the World Series was so exhausting. Talk about needing an intern. Like I'm finding money and I'm dragging Tyler to the World Series next year, so I'm not doing this by myself. Like exhausted. Didn't sleep for like 7 straight days. But 2 weeks after it was over, I mean, for a week I was like, thank God, I'm done. But man, I was like, damn, that was so much fun. That's how this is. And as fans, like we're still fans. I'm an alumni. Tyler's a student here. It's a unique situation covering the teams that you're fans of, but enjoy it, soak it all in, go to all the sports if you can, do all the damn things. Volleyball, I think we said at the beginning, they play on Friday before basketball. It's like a weird sports day.
They had to move it up. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, I don't think they thought that one through when they planned both basketball and volleyball on the same day, but whatever. They play Cincinnati that afternoon. Drop one to West Virginia.
Alumni night.
Not good. But alumni night, a lot of alumni in town. Maybe that'll spark some fire in them. I don't know. I don't know that fire is the issue, so I'm not trying to call them out or anything. But unfortunately, lost a tough one to West Virginia tonight. Only a few games left in the season. Went on alumni night. Keep getting better. All the things. We'll talk about volleyball when the season's over. But go team. I appreciate the players. They're doing what they do.
Same here.
Go team. All right, y'all. Another episode down. Soccer. If I don't see you on Friday, you're going on a list. We've already been through this. NCAA tournament, that trumps everything else.
Right here.
I love basketball till I die, but soccer is above them right now. Go. All right. That's all I got. Wreck 'em.